Good evening. If, you take off the microphone. Very mic there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Buxton. Buxton people, you're welcome out. Good, e Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, visitors and residents. Welcome to this year's Emancipation Eve observances, celebrations, the libation ceremony. This year's event comes to you with a kind compliments and collaboration of the 1st of August movement, Toucan 2 Multipurpose Club, and the Society for African Guyanese Empowerment, SAGE. I am Kiraki Amsterdam. I take the opportunity to welcome you all in this well, I am thinking, because I usually argue that we are about 187 years of emancipation now, counted from the 1834 period, but some will say that it's a little less, because in some places it was realized in 1838. So approximately 187 years of emancipation. Welcome to Buxton. There's no doubt that our ancestors would have fought the good fight to regain their freedom, and then they would have done the good work to leave us legacies that we can be proud of. And so tonight's events, I am sure, should be a fitting honor to their hard work and sacrifices. And so I want to welcome you all here as we pay homage to them and we remember their hard work. At this time, I want to invite greetings from the churches, and we are going to start with that of Mother Desiree. Mother Desiree, you are welcome to take the microphones. Is there a representative of Mother Desiree here? All right, seems not. Is there a representative of Mother Pam? Or is Mother Pam herself here? Mother? Oh, here she comes. Good evening, one and all. Visitors.
Hold the mic to your mouth. Close to your mouth. Close to your mouth.
Visitors. Buxtonians who are here. Welcome once more on this spot of ground to commemorate and celebrate our ancestors, the task that they have laid for us. We're asking God for us to cheerfully to fulfill it. Let us pray. Oh God, our help in ages past, along for years to come, for the shelter from the stormy blast. Tonight we are happy to know that we are alive and conscious to know we are celebrating our ancestors. Tonight I want to say to you that some of us is still not conscious of the things and the way that our ancestors fought, went through for us to be free today. And
You know that the time is before us. The youths are before us. And they do not understand unto this day where they come from. They do not understand the way of life. And they don't want to understand the way of life, because they are not emancipating themselves from mental slavery. And because of that, we are getting backward, going backward all the time, instead of going forward. And the obstacles before them that causes them not to go forward. But I pray that someday, if it's not too late, they will come to that consciousness to know that we are celebrating, all of us are celebrating their ancestors, our ancestors that fought the fight for us. Tonight I want to implore that things, I don't know why things are not getting better. We sing the song, things are getting better every day, but things are not getting better. Things are not getting better. So we have to be contented with the few and the numbers that is gathering air with us year after year. Tonight I want to tell the drummers, everything in this life is not only for money, but remember where we come from. Yes, we know cost of living are very much heavy, but at times we have to free ourselves, free our mind, so we could understand the free will to do things. May God bless each and every one that is here tonight. And it's because of the willingness of their heart they are here tonight. Because we know very well we are under stress.
Put the mic claim out.
But let our stress pass over our shoulder and let us stand upright to continue to celebrate this celebration year after year. You know, the task is heavy. But with Christ in the vessel, we could weather the storm that is before us. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong, children of God. So we can have this thing done every year in a form and a manner that will give us some part of a victory sometime. Because we are looking forward for the victory in time to come. May God bless each and every one of you tonight. May God continue to keep you. May God continue to direct you. May God continue to sustain you. May God continue to spread over wings around you and give you that strength and that happiness. So when the time comes, you shall be happy. And all of us will be happy, celebrating year after year. God bless you.
Thank you, Mother. Yes, as we continue the program, I want to invite Mother Georgie to the microphone to bring greetings. Mother Georgie?
Good evening, one and all. I say jumbo to my brothers and sisters. Tonight, I am representing, my name is Georgiana James, and I'm representing the Little Angel Sabbath School of Buxton. I'm the leader for that Sabbath school. And we bring our greetings to you, all the organizations who have gathered here this evening to celebrate this Emancipation Eve. We know that our ancestors have done great works to give us this opportunity so that we can stand on this spot of ground to say thanks to them for what they have worked for. Tonight, I will give a prayer, then I will give a song. Eternal God and ever-living Father, tonight, oh God, we are believing children have gathered on this spot of ground to celebrate our Emancipation Eve. We thank you, God, for the strength. We thank you for the privilege that has kept us even from one day unto this hour and time. Father and God, we ask for divine guidance for all the organizations who have gathered together and put hand in hand to make this Emancipation Eve a success. We as Buxtonians are always looking out for this celebration. And we thank you, God. We thank you that you live in their hearts and they remember that without you, nothing is possible. So, Father and God, we ask that you cover this village with love. Cover us with unity. Give us an understanding that we are one people. Not only to say that we are one people, one nation, and one history. We are one people, and together we will fight. Together we will win. Let us all work hand in hand. I say tonight to all the drummers, let us stand firm. Keep our faith. Let this Emancipation Eve strengthen you. That as you go from village to village to celebrate and to play melodious song, I pray that God may be able to give you the power and the strength within your hands that you was able to do the work that He has blessed you to do. He said it's not by might and it's not by power, but by thy spirit, says the Lord. I say tonight, on behalf of all my relatives, and all Buxtonians who have asked that I bring a greeting for them, that to accept their well wishes on this Emancipation. I thank you.
Thank you, Mother George. Okay. I feel like giving away some money. Who wants some money? You have to be between the age of 15 and 20. I find it a little low. Between 10 and 20. Anybody between 10 and 20, you got 1 minute to run away if you want the money. But you gotta answer a question. Who coming? Nobody? But some people don't like money. Y'all want to ask the question first. No. This is not election. You can't know the result before the announcement. Anyway, somebody wants the money, so Let's go to the next item on the program, and that is greetings being brought to you from Brother Keith Easton, who resides in the United States, but he's almost always here during this time. Brother Keith, welcome. Boom.
Good night, fellow Buxtonians, youth, and my elders. Tonight is special to us as we celebrate our emancipation. Now, what is so significant about emancipation is what our ancestors did in order to free themselves for our benefit. Now, what also is significant about being here is that we are here at the monument that was brought from the Pandam. That is a history that many people do not know or do not remember, right? So, on behalf now of Simbux, who I was once president and I was once part of for 30-something years, I would like to bring greetings to you. Buxtonians in Buxton, Buxtonians all about, and Buxtonians in the United States, because I know Brother Kidaki is doing a wonderful job in communicating with people all over the world. Secondly, I'd like to bring greetings from the museum. We have what we call Friends of the Village Museum in the US that is supporting the Buxton and Friendship Museum at the Middle Street. Is there anyone here who does not know that we have a museum, archives, and cultural center in Buxton? Anybody? All right, since nobody said that they do not know, we expect you to visit the museum to know more about our history. Now, why the museum was started is very, very important, because we have lost a whole generation of people when many of us, Dr. Hines and myself and a couple others left the country, went overseas, and there was like a brain drain, not only in knowledge, but also in culture and many other things. Now, one thing, based on my limited time, I would like to speak about choices. We all have choices to make as to what we do with our life and what we do with our time. And I'm addressing our youth. We have a lot of adults here, right? But something is missing in our society, right? And something is missing in our country, and that is our youth, right? The choices that our youth will be making in terms of A, you go to university, you go to higher school of education, do you give back to the community, right? You get a scholarship, do you give back to the community, right? So we all have choices. We have choices. Do we want to take the vaccine or not take the vaccine, right? We all have choices. And in making those choices, people should not impose on you what you should not impose on you as to what you should do and what you should not do. And this is where freedom comes in, freedom of choice. And that is what our ancestors fought for their freedom in order for us to be here tonight. Continuing about our youth, I must applaud what Brother Kidaki is doing as a young person. I'm not going to speak about David. David is older, right? Brother Kidaki is doing, Brother Dion Abrams, Sister Sweet Pea, many of the other youth are doing. And that is giving back to society, giving back to our culture, right? So that we can be here tonight and we can keep celebrating. But in concluding now, because I think I'm going over my time, what is very, very now important is our economy, our economics, right? With whoever controls the economy controls the country. Whoever controls the economy controls the country. And when I drive down to Georgetown, I go up to the East Bank, right? I look at the businesses left and right. I reflect as what we had in Buxton. We had the garment factory. Many of you do not know or can't remember the garment factory, those 2 twin buildings. You have the garment factory on the right-hand side, the plastic factory on the left-hand side. The garment factory, they brought in business. The person who spearheaded that was Brother Yusi Kwayano, which many of you do not know, right? And that would have been a question that Brother Kidaki would have wanted the young people to answer if I was in his position also, was who is Brother Kwayano, right? What contributions did he make to the village, right? So the garment factory, the plastic factory, those are two buildings that we have to remember. The history of the Boleri Hall, persons who have passed away, our ancestors like Teacher George Young, Prophet Wills. Anybody here know who was Prophet Wills? All right. So these are things that the museum is trying to pull together all of that information. That for those people, persons who have missed out on history, that you can come to the museum and get a lot of that history in terms of our ancestors, right? And also, if you're writing papers, we also have a archives that you can get information. I think that is all for now. Thank you very much for the time.
Money, Lord! Money, 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 money! Who likes money? Who wants to be $1,000 richer? You want some money? You want some money? I'm not going to ask you anything you're not supposed to know about Buxton or Guyana. Nobody want money? Listen. Y'all Kiraki like money bad. And since I tell you Kiraki like money bad, and I was told who controls the economy, controls the country, chefs. That's a part of the economy of Buxton. Support chefs. That's a mobile restaurant. It operates outside Republic Bank by Triumph. Support it because it supports Buxton. That's a fact. And Brother Keith said who controls the economy, controls the country. I want to say to you, brothers and sisters, who controls the land, controls the country. They say who owns the land, owns the country. I want to say to you, brothers and sisters, I ain't supposed to talk so long. I'm the MC, but MC a privilege. I want to say to you, brothers and sisters, them old house you got falling down, repair them and rent them. Guyanese, Buxtonians used to live here and go to Trinidad and live in some 4x4, I understand, and pay a lot of US money to live there. Trinidadians now are coming to Guyana because oil they hate. And so they got to get place to live to. So you have to fix them whole house and rent them. Even if it's 4x4, you want to call them, fix them and rent them. And if you got vacant land and you ain't got nothing for them, knock up a 4x4 and rent them. Real estate is big business in this country right now. I'm begging you, don't sell. For God's sake, not sell. Not sell, not sell, not sell. Right? I wouldn't even encourage you to lease. Because lease does end up in problems. Not sell. Something, I take a little liberty here, I hope I don't mind. Something which has been brought to my attention and which a lot of people perhaps didn't know is that not because you own land and you have title to it, you can't lose it. You could be paying the taxes for it and you still could lose it. A lot of people say I get title from a land and I just pay it every year, it's safe. No. There's something that's called occupancy. You gotta occupy your land. Even fence it and plant some coconut trees. In 3 years, you could get coconut out. And coconut is on demand. You have to do something with all the land in Buxton. That's my encouragement to you. Next up on the program is the chairman of the First of August movement, David Hines. Sorry, it's not David, they're wrong, you know. It's David Jones. David Jones from DNY Construction, etc., etc. Former chairman of the Buxton Falls NDC. Welcome, Brother David.
Thank you, Brother Kadaki. Good night, everyone. Wake up. Brother Kadaki give me a lot of caps to wear tonight. But I gonna wear them. I want every Buxton to wear this. It's a privilege being here. Special welcome to those who are visiting with us. It's a privilege to be here with you guys as we celebrate 52 years or 53 of the first Revivalist movement in Buxton. Started 52 or 3 years ago by Brother Nkufi. And at that time, I was one of the founding members. At that time, you had Colin Gardner, you had Brother Hines, David Hines, and all those members who made up the Force of August movement. The Force of August movement was primarily responsible for celebrating emancipation, observations of emancipation, making African Guyanese Black people in Buxton aware of the ancestors. More it is an organization that helps us to have a tie with our ancestors. And this organization was merely responsible and still is responsible for the cultural guidance and the implementation of cultural ideas, especially with regards to the African Guyanese presence in Guyana. I am proud to be serving among people like Teacher Yvette, who has done quite a lot of service in this regard. And I must admit, the work sometimes is very difficult, but we have to press on. We are trying to have a pattern of younger people to come on board and to help us to propagate this position. It's not as easy as we would like. It's a challenge, but I would continue to urge there's space for younger people to come on board and take the mantle and run with it. Our celebration has been somewhat muted for the past few years as a result of the pandemic which we are facing. It is a serious thing. It's not as we would like it to be. We thought it would have been behind us by now, but it's not. I don't know how long it's going to be here, but regardless of that, we have got to press on regardless. We've got things to do. We got a lot of things to do. We have got to build our communities. We got to build books. We got to teach young people, especially in the areas of economic empowerment. We need to stress this part. Brother Kadaki before me, the MC was emphasizing on that part. We have got to start to understand the power of money. We've got to start to understand that money liberates. And we are suffering an advantage simply because there are a certain group of people who think that we are helpless, we are nothing. But I must remind you that post-emancipation period, after the slaves have been emancipated back in 1834, and they start setting up homestead, these people took their money after they left the estate. They took their money, put it in a wheelbarrow. You've learned about that, you know about that. And they bought villages. And they expand and they add homestead and they run proper villages. At that time, everything was against us. The banks were against us because The colonial masters were told that the banks should not lend black people money, and that continues even on to today. I want you to understand that. Therefore, it is important that we work together to promote little things that built us. And we know those things that built us are Penny Bank. We know that they call it Susu. We know those things built us. We know there's the public service credit union that built us as well. And all of these things play a very important role. And I don't want you for one moment to turn your back on these things. These things will help us as a black community, and we need to address them, and we need to go after them. Get yourself in entail and work at that. When you do that, you will become financially strong. That got us all the way from post-emancipation to now. I'm not going to say anymore, but all I'm going to tell you is that Force of August movement will be there to help you along the way. That's our business. As a matter of fact, we have some big plans that we are going to launch shortly for the new year. As soon as this celebration is over, you got to start to do things that will benefit the people of Buxton and by extent other black communities. We got to start looking out for us. Black Lives Matter. Having said all that, greetings on behalf of myself and all the members of the August movement. Special acknowledgement to Susan Lee Terrell, and the rest of the team. David Herod, Dr. David I, Kedaki, the rest of the team. We're working and we will continue to work. God bless you all. Thank you.
I forget to tell you, Ali was a pastor. Yes. As we move along, money's still there, you know. Who want money? It would pain my heart to know that I leave here tonight without giving out one blind cent of this money that I got in my pocket that I want to do. Seriously. You got to be between the ages of 10 and 20 to get any of it. And if you're telling me that there is no person between the ages of 10 and 20 who is prepared to come here and take a challenge, I tell you the next generation of boxing people stop. Let's move to the libation ceremony. Maybe the spirits of the ancestors can be invoked in some of y'all tonight so y'all can take a good challenge. John Abrams, former chairman of Buxton, Folsom, DC, deputy head at Annandale Secondary. The man is a linguist. He is a Spanish examiner for CXC. Y'all don't know these things about your people. They think we just dead. But let me tell you these things. Well, show us the mic. Come for the mic. You can tell them the rest.
Alles poor libation. Good night, citizens of Buxton and visitors with us. It's a pleasure to have you here this evening to be part of this ceremony. I want to big up the First of August movement for continuing this tradition and to implore, as David did, that other young people become involved in the movement. One of the problems we have is what is called sustainability, in that people who begin things, they pass on, and then there aren't others who are there to carry on the works of those who have started. Libation, as you know, is basically a simple ceremony, and I would encourage you to read a book by Dr. Kimani Nehusi, who hails from Queenstown on the Essequibo Coast, but has a foundation in Buxton, and he has written a book on African libation and so on. The African tradition is facing great challenges from Christianity, from Islam. And I always say that I'm also a member of the Pan-African movement, and we had tried to get Africans who were in there to pour libation. And they refused on the basis that their faith, their new faith, which is Christianity, did not allow them to do a ceremony of libation. Libation basically communicates with our ancestors and invites them to ceremonies like these so that they can continue to guide us. So the tradition is facing an onslaught in the diaspora and on the continent itself. And so Dr. Hines asked me about my calabash for pouring libation tonight, but it's not necessary to have that. The men who, Andy will tell you that when he's drinking his little cups and so on, that he pours the libation. To recognize the ancestors, we pour a little thing to the ground and to give them the recognition that they are among us. And if you don't do that, sometimes they walk fall down. And you say, you see, you're crazy, you know, they buy them little thing, so they take off. All right? So we're going to pour libation this evening, and we're going to invite our ancestors to be here with us. And so, in recognition of those who have gone before, we invite you, our elders, our young brothers and sisters, our leaders, all those who have gone before. And we ask your presence here this evening and ask your guidance as we face the challenges of the African Guyanese here in this country. We know those challenges are deep, and we know that we have struggles and which we have to face. And so we ask your strength, that you give us the fortitude to be able to stand up and be defiant in the face of these challenges, so that we can overcome them using the spirit of defiance, of resoluteness, the spirit of Shaka Zulu and all those great leaders who have gone before, who have fought and have brought recognition for the ability to resist even in the face of forces that believe that they had better weaponry and all. Our children, we want to admonish you, even as we pour libation, to recognize our educators, those who would have blazed a trail for Buxton and for the African community. The African villages were the cradle of education in this country. The schools that were built by the churches and the private schools, like the county high schools and all of those schools, educated this nation. And today we face challenges even in education. And so we hope that our young people will accept the need to be educated. And as David said, that they give back to the community when they would have received from the community. To our elders who are still here, we ask that you continue to provide guidance to our young people. I know it is a challenge because our young people believe that they are really not supposed to be guided in some ways. Many of them believe now that they are laws unto themselves, but continue to counsel them so that some will hear, and those who hear will continue to keep the name of Buxton flying. We say that we have illustrious sons and daughters of Buxton, and we want to continue to have people who can stand against the challenges of the world and continue to put Buxton on the world's map. And so I want to pour libation to elders. I want to recognize also our religious persons, Sister Pam, and all the others who are here representing the fitness community, because they also face challenges with religion. And I did say that it's also happening in Africa, that everything we do outside of the what is called the traditional Christian approach is condemned. Our religions were condemned and bastardized and called Ubio and all kinds of things. And so I want to recognize that these ladies and gentlemen who are part of that community are doing a great work of upholding the nature of our tradition. It is really a fusion of some elements of African tradition and the Christian tradition. But we must not be basic and say that it is all kinds of things that are not right about. Religion doesn't take one form. And our religions in Africa would have kept us going for years, would have kept us surviving. And we have our own traditions that have held our communities together. But now the big religion is separating us because Muslims are fighting Christians and all this. So hail up Sister Pam and Sister Georgie and all the others who are of that fraternity. Our teachers, I want to recognize you for the work that you continue to do. And all of the other people who are involved, our drummers, for keeping the tradition. Okay? I want you to not only hold on to it, but follow you and teach him drumming so that when you are gone, and that we still have people who will keep the tradition of drumming. In some villages, there are no drummers, all right? And so you who are here, establish yourself and teach our youngsters these traditions. I want to recognize our business people and ask you to not stay at the level that you are, but try to grow and to become big business and encourage the spirit of business in our youngsters, inculcating them the need for independence in income. We are now faced with the challenge of having thousands of our people dismissed from the public service. You are dismissed for playing dominoes at lunchtime. You're accused of talking a minister's name and all of these things, and you're dismissed for frivolous things simply because they don't want you to. And so we are asking that we establish our independence. Once we have businesses growing, then we can employ our people in whatever way. I want to big up our farmers because a movement is on. The land is being taken, and we are hopeful that that process continues to grow, so that Buxton, I don't know if you all have been watching Facebook, but boatloads of plantains and all of these things have once again begun to come out from our background. And we want the mangoes, the sirapos, everything to be coming out of there, so that when we bring them out here, we don't have to go looking for things for food. and that people can threaten to poison us more. All right, so recognition to you, and I say Ashe as we celebrate and recognize all those who have gone and all those who will come, even the unborn. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Money, 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 money. Money is still there. You want money? Just put up your hand and come. Hurry up and come. Hurry up and come. Hurry up and come. Nobody? All right. Brother Dion mentioned the challenges we are faced with. People getting dismissed, etc., etc. Let me say this. This is not a message from the 1st of August movement, nor SAGE, nor Tukantu. But I'm saying this now to you. Monday morning, 9 o'clock, I'm inviting every single Buxtonian to the public room. If you get a pink slip, because they ain't getting COVID money, come out. If your street bad, come out. If you're getting water problem, come out. Whatever your form of troubles you're getting in this Iowa, come to Buxton Public Road and let's highlight it. 9 o'clock Monday morning. That's my invite to you. Right? But Dion also mentioned the illustrious sons and daughters. And it reminds us that we've had many of them. And one in particular stands out in the Buxton Battle song. And so I want to invite Sister Yvette to lead us in the singing of the Buxton Battle song. Sister Yvette, are you there? Here she comes. Yankadona. Here she comes.
So me alone singing this battle song. Please stand. We're doing the Buxton battle song. Please stand. We have 2 children around. 2 children. Mr. Carmen. All right. Now will power in the dust, Buxton Lion, lazy man, and his games will never run. Buxton Lion, lazy man, remember fresh face, yes we must. The Buxton sun, Lord, shall be strong. Now he's found words in the dust. The Buxton Lion, lazy man. Now we every boy and girl. The Buxton Lion, lazy man. And green all day employ. The Buxton Lion, lazy man. To let the warriors recite our sons and daughters who want lives all their best and we may shine. For Buxton Lion, lazy man. To let the warriors recite our sons and daughters who want lives all their best and we may shine.
Thank you. Even as we observe these moments, let us remember that there are parts of this country where people are driving by and dashing. Give us a dashing relief supplies to the corner of the road to black people. Are you take on? Right? Discrimination continues oppression continues. And even as we observe these moments, we must remember that our ancestors did not sit and accept such disrespect. They did not sit and accept oppression. They fought tooth and nail and they regained their freedom. And so we in this Iowa must also be prepared to fight tooth and nail and stop the oppression. Let the drums play. Yeah, let us. Buxton has been known as a representative of the people. For every dispute they had in this country, Buxtonians have stood tall and stand in the gap. They've always been in the forefront, struggling for equal rights and justice, struggling for respect for our people. And well known among those who have been struggling and fighting the good fight on behalf of the Guyanese people, behalf of Black people, behalf of Buxtonians and the oppressed. There's a man who used to live at Bottom Station. Anybody, this judge used to walk all over Buxton and pick up bush and buy medicine to feed the whole village. And you know them, Twilly and Judge. But Twilly has left these shores and he returned as Professor David Hines. So ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our dear brother, Dr. David Hines, a man who has been in the forefront of struggle for this country, this village, and humanity.
Thank you very much, Brother Kidaki, and thanks to everybody who's come out here tonight. Thank you to the drummers who keep our ancestors alive. It is always a beautiful sight and a beautiful feeling when beautiful Black people get together to celebrate ourselves. Give ourselves a big round of applause. We are a special people. I make no bones about that. We are a special people. We are special because after 200 and odd years of enslavement, we came out of that condition and we made history. Nowhere else in the African diaspora does Black people take their meager earnings from 1834 and 1838, between 1834 and 1838, and bought lands and created villages. And these villages were more than just a place where people came to rest their heads. We humanized Guyana. We humanized this place. Before we created villages, this coastland was the wild coast where they bought people, sold the people, and killed people. And we put an end to that by saying this space, these spaces must be spaces of humanity. Permit me to acknowledge a couple of people. With us here tonight is my cousin Norma Adams. Buxton Station. Roll the drums for her. She's visiting with her family, and she's here tonight to sit with us and to ground with us. I recognize my teacher, Mr. Buxton Libation, who came to Buxton and became a Buxtonian. And those of us who passed through his hands, as we used to say, we are better for it. And I want to acknowledge all the other teachers who are here and not here. Because you know what? We are a people of education. We taught this country to read and write and think. Often we don't want to own who we are, and we allow people to define us. And so one of my emancipation messages tonight is that we must define who we are. Kidaki said that I am Twilly. And he's right. That whatever else I became, I'm always Twilly. Meaning that this village made me. This village made me. I often say, my auntie Cecilia sell black pudding to Minus. And all those of you who bought black pudding, buy black pudding from she, week in, week out, you're responsible for me. It's black pudding money help to raise me. Your money. I'm saying these things to say to us that this year's emancipation comes at a grim time for black people in this country. Let's make no bones about it. It's a grim time. It's a grim time because there's those whose agendas are meant to drive us back onto the plantation. But when we came off those plantations in 1838, we ensured that all other Guyanese would be free. We are responsible not only for our freedom, but for the freedom of those who came before us and who came after us. We are the conscience of freedom in this country. Too often we sell ourselves short. Or the brothers talk early on about a distinction between religion and faithists. Faithist people are Christians too. They are black Christians. Our contribution to the Christian religion is enormous, and we must own it. We must not throw away Christianity. We must embrace that Christianity which we humanize. Our spiritual churches are Christian churches also. And we must own it. Black Christianity. That's what it is. And we must make that distinction. I want to urge us here tonight that in times like these, all we have is ourselves. All we have is ourselves. We've been down before, and we've come up. And whenever we rise, we take the rest of Guyana with us. We take the rest of the world with us. Let us not cede 1 inch. Let us not cede 1 inch to those who would like to see us down at the bottom of the ladder. We are not. We are at the top of the ladder. We are at the top of the ladder. We have given this country more than this country has given us. We have given this country, Guyana, more than they have given us. And we must say that loud on the mountaintop. My message to you tonight as I close is that when we come next year on the spot to celebrate another anniversary, we must do so with much more vigor than we are doing this year. That is, let us set ourselves as. I want to say to all of you all, join something. Join something. When I was a boy growing up in this village, we had more clubs than people. We had more organizations than people. God bless EUC Guyana. God bless it. Because he taught us how to organize. We perhaps have made the mistake of believing that the only organization we must have is political. I'm a political person, you all know that. But politics is only part of our challenges in this country. We've got to do more than politics. We've got to do our community. We must put our community before we put politicians and political parties. I'm not saying that we should not engage in politics, but I'm saying we are as strong as our families and our communities are. The party leaders will build the party. You've given them many chances to build our villages and they have not. And that responsibility has to be with us. And we have to start by doing small things. Like I said, join an organization. Go volunteer, send your children to go volunteer in the museum. It's there. It's a representative of our culture. Tell your children, go and volunteer. If you can teach, if you're a teacher, join some organization and volunteer to teach. We must not be people who only jump behind political banners. We must jump behind ourselves. So let's turn inwards for the next year and try to repair ourselves. The responsibility of reparation is our responsibility to repair ourselves. And I say, not all of us can jump to the front, but all of us can contribute. So my challenge to you here tonight is to believe that you can change the world, because we have changed the world before, and believe that we can continue to change the world. Believe that we can continue to lift ourselves from where we are. Believe that we can continue to survive, because we have to be in survival mode. There are those who have promised to poison us. I am not carrying tales out of school, they've said it. Poison them. So we have to fight against the poisoners. And the way we do that is to unpoison our own minds. We are Guyanese, but Guyana was created in 1966. We were here before 1966. We weren't Guyanese. We were beautiful black people who joined with others to become Guyanese. And we must be loyal to ourselves as much as we are loyal to Guyana. We defend Guyana. Who in the Guyana Defense Force? People with faces and colors like us. We defend this country. We protect this country. Who are the people in the police force? We protect this country. And yet, when it comes to the money in this country, we only have 7% of it. They're trying to tell us that the oil money will not come to Guyana. Let me tell you all tonight. When Exxon carry away, what they carry away? When the thieves in high places thief what they thief, there will be enough left for every man, woman, and child in this country to get out of poverty. Tell them me. But we are not going to get if we don't demand. Professor Clive Thomas, the Caribbean's top economist, he did the numbers, and he come right here in Buxton at Friendship Primary School, Roman Church School, in 2018. And he told the world that if they take 10% of what we will earn, each household in this country can get $5,000 which is $1 million. We fight our own people to make it into law. We didn't succeed. Other people come in and they're giving us 25,000. And they're passing these villages and giving other people the 25,000. They're giving school children 19,000. You deserve and you're entitled to much more than that. I say to you here tonight, take the 19,000. You get 4 picnic is 76,000. But you now have to join the fight to ensure that we get more than the. Don't let nobody tell you that you have no right to depend on government. Everywhere in the world, people depend on government. When you go and put your X, you're not putting it there for nothing. You exchange yourself. This X is for you to give me. Don't let nobody tell you that you don't have entitled Government is not there to do for you. Government is there to do for you. That's why you support government. And so if they're giving you money, take it. And demand more. Because what they don't give the poor, they give to the rich. And so we got homework to do. We got to fight for our share of the oil money. We got to organize in our communities to make our communities better. And we've got to say to ourselves that we are beautiful too. Love your blackness. Love your blackness. If you don't love your blackness, you can't love other ethnicities and other races. Love yourself. Self-love. When you look in the mirror, you don't see a white person or a brown person. When you look in the mirror, you see a black person like you. And you have to give thanks and praises for that. So sisters and brothers, we have an hour or so left, and Brian Chester signaling me because he has to do his thing with us. So I stop here and I say to you that our presence here tonight will be written by those who write history. That in the middle of the pandemic, black women with their African attire and their hair tie came out with other Buxtonians to give thanks to our ancestors. That even when they are done, they come out and look the world in the eye, because we are speaking to the world tonight. The media is here, Channel 67, welcome. And Kedam's TV is streaming us live. So as the young people say, we are here tonight in these numbers, but we gone viral. And the message we send here tonight is a message to ourselves and a message to the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Love thy neighbors, you love yourself. You can't love yourself when you love the people. They got a man among us who likes sing Calypso. His Calypso was on the list selected or short listed for the last matrimony competition. But then, as they say, in the 11th hour, the government decided, hey, not this one. Not this one at all. This one too hot. Let me hear it. And so we saying to the government, come hell or high water, and we're here tonight. All right. That's the truth. Come sing on Trump, rock up the country.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be with you here tonight.
Don't go so far. Come on, girl. Come on, stay in there. Don't move. Stay in the same position.
Black Lives Matter. All the time.
The music.
2016, I warned you, America, do not elect this deranged fella. But you didn't listen at all. You went straight ahead, and he you installed. The man was power drunk, selfish and crazy. Yet you run and give him presidency. It was mutiny on the citizenry. 4 years of severe torture and tyranny. But Republicans were too blind to see. They fell at best of the whole country. All of them stood there looking and watched him hijack the GOP, pick a trade war with the Chinese. They fell and mess up the whole country. Even loyal allies became enemies. They fell and broke up the whole country. Soon as he took the reign of presidency, it was chaos and hostility. He set up a premise through which white supremacists could freely practice his racist thesis. He banned black Muslims and refused them entry, placed Mexican kids in captivity, and George Floyd's demise was blatant cruelty. Tell me, isn't this growth in humanity? But Republicans were too blind to see. They fell and divided the whole country with this stupid racist philosophy. They fell and broke up the whole country when they separate children from the family. Such a thing we hope we will never see. White police killing blacks with impunity. This is extreme inhumanity. Yeah. If he didn't cause you enough destruction, then come COVID-19 invasion. He said not to worry, it's a simple virus. No ashes to ashes and dust to dust. 400,000 plus deaths in just 1 year to poor Americans. This is unfair. And while his people suffering in despair, he busy playing golf like he just don't care. But Republicans were too blind to see. They fell and sacrificed the whole country. All of them stood idly and watched him destroy the GOP. Listen to me, man. They're talking too much in this country, and when they're trucking thousands to the cemetery, he turned his back like he didn't see. Yeah. Now he keeps on spewing so the election, saying Quebec stole the election. He had no evidence at all. So High Court judges made him look real small. He told his supporters storm the Capitol, which ended up in deadly insurrection. And while the police have them in custody, he ran to Florida with his family. But Republicans were too ashamed to see. They fell and broke up the GOP. He put his followers in penalty. The fella broke up the whole party. He fell away and left them in custody. The fella mash up the GOP. Them by say his wife will soon get rid of him. Cause he failed to function efficiently. Now you come to my small country, preaching democracy, saying you will ban officials from my country, while you, in your country, promoting oligarchy. This is indeed gross hypocrisy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I understand there is a beautiful young lady who is supposed to be bringing greetings from the 2.2 multi-purpose club. Is she here? Well, if you have an answer, you can. She's not here. Or she ain't answering, or she thinks she's beautiful, or she thinks she's young. Which one? Come on. Okay, I'm not getting any response. I still got some money for giveaway, thanks, shot.
Hold the mic properly.
All right, good night, everyone.
Come forward.
I expected that some young people will
come this way
to give greetings on behalf of the 2.2 Multipurpose Club. Since they're probably not around because they were here earlier, I will attempt to just say quickly on behalf of 2.2 Multipurpose Club. We would like to bring our greetings to the organizations that are working so tediously to bring about our Black culture and to promote what we know is our culture, which our ancestors would have taught us. We are celebrating as an organization 25 years. On the 3rd of August, Tukan Club will be 25 years. It has been 25 years in existence. And it has been working throughout the years as the youth arm of the 1st of August movement. What it does is to assist the older folks, the elders, to serve in the certain club. We serve, they are taught to serve. So that is what they do. So on behalf of the organization and the young people, we bring greetings and we hope that the elders in the organization and our fellow Buxtonians will remember the roots,
face the camera,
remember where you came from, remember those who would have gone before, and just keep up the good works. Don't be ashamed of your culture. Don't be ashamed to be a Buxtonian. And live your life. Live it meaningfully. To the youths, please remember where you came from and work towards where you're going in a positive way. Together, this is the youth's motto, Tukan Club's motto. Together we share, together we build, we are one. And for the record, the fencing there that is down here, Tukan Club was responsible for the fencing of this monument.
Thank you. Now let me tell you something. I tell you something which you want to know. All them people who don't want to come for money, you had enough money to give away. educating you every day. So here we are. We just launched an essay competition, right? Why am I proud as a Buxtonian? Why am I proud as a Buxtonian? That's a topic for those of you who are between. Let's start at one day. All right, we're gonna make that from standard 1 to 4. Why am I proud as a Buxtonian? Yes, standard 1 to 4. Why am I proud as a Buxtonian? And those who are older, standard 4 is 11, 12, huh? It's in between 13 and 20. It's in between 13 and 20. It's a big gap. Right. All right, well, listen, there's a competition. We're going to give you all the details later. Because I know launching the competition, because we got money. Right? I just received the donation of some money. Right? And the winners of this essay competition, I can tell you, you will be well rewarded. It's more than 19,000. Right? More than 19,000. That's the starters. That's the total price. More than 19,000. If only one person will get that. The other thing is, I'm asking the teachers especially to identify for us their strongest students, but who have no access to the resources to benefit from online education. You think you all understand it? I hope you all understand. Who is your online instructor? Right? Let me make it this way. Hey, John is a good student. When he was in classroom, when you all had face-to-face instruction, John was extremely good. But John is not attending classes online because he ain't got a phone to attend class. He ain't got a tablet to attend class. I'm challenging the teachers. Identify your strongest students and send those names to us. My number is 6225923. You can send them by WhatsApp. 6225933. Once you send them by WhatsApp, you're going to get the next set of instructions. Right? Send those names to me. I'll tell you what to do next. It's all in the process of helping you. Nancy! Nancy! Then get one for your boxing. Nancy! Your mama was one outstanding, or still one outstanding educator. Nancy! Nancy! She didn't pick up on hatchet. And she will tell her headmaster, you're going to give me the salary or you're going to take your boxing. Nancy! Nancy! Are you put your hands together? Welcome, Brian Chester. Brian Chester, welcome. There was a teacher yesterday that used to call, what is my name? Sandals and socks, spectacle Jesus. That was the name? As missionary. And I remember as a student there, Mr. Just Chester, he was a Buxtonian, and he owns his salary. Construction happening at the school same time. I should pick up one hatchet and share the t-shirt until he paid.
Here's the first story. Good night, everyone. Happy Emancipation to each and everyone.
Run this way, face this way.
We're here tonight celebrating our 52nd year of our independence. I tell you, no, Mama, can't remember. In any case, we want to wake up them ancestors all over. And by waking them up now, we're going to sing the ancestral song. Right? Holy Mount Zion. Starting with Holy Mount Zion. Let's go. Holy Mount Zion. Holy Mount Zion, holy, 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 Africa is Mount Zion. We welcome the ancestors. But tonight, I want Brother David, Brother Kidaki, and everyone that spoke here tonight. They said some things and it's very much vital to you young Buxtonians. And not only Buxton, but wide and far. I think everybody should really keep all that was said in mind because it's a real struggle, real pressure coming on us. And we have to, must put a foot in this. Must. We must do it somehow, some way, sometime, somehow. And by doing this, we must join our heart, hands, and mind together and go ahead with whatever it is. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, I do believe that we shall I need some more lustily singing, man. This is emancipation, black people, you know yourself. Who can sing, clap, or do something? Do something, you just sit down, that's what you said to this? This is what you call. What you want to tell me, man? Christ. Down by the rivers of Babylon, we sat down, and we began for the wicked, carry us the wicked, of our heart. We accept devil in night. Nancy! Well, you know this emancipation story make a lot of people came out here tonight. But normally the expectation, you know, coronavirus and so on, we can't get a crowd, we can't get too much of big gathering. But for the persons that are around here tonight, I'm very much proud of you. Come out support emancipation. The Nancy story, I know, bring them out and why hear this story? Nancy! Nancy! Emancipation story, Nancy! Polka and Tankiat, Nancy! Very good companion, Nancy! When Polka invite Tankiat, I will tell you hello. They get this emancipation celebration at Buxton. Nancy! And I'm going to invite you to go down to this emancipation celebration. Nancy! So when they got to walk to come to this emancipation celebration up, they got to pass a cornfield. Nancy! Nancy! So Polka tell Tankiat now, well, watch. You see the cornfield there before we reach this place? I'm going to fly over there. I'm going to pick up the corn. And you're going to jump over and mouse inside the cornfield by the time you see we get couple rat. Nancy! Nancy! It was agreed. Nancy! So the Falcon makes a take me fly over this train. Nancy! Over inside the cornfield. Nancy! Can't have time now to go over. No bridge to go over, so you gotta make it be over. Nancy! Falcon tells Tankiat, now watch. Take a run off and make a leap and you're gonna cross over. Nancy! Tankiat decides to take the beat. When the man make a run and jump now, go to high in the air, loop in the air, and he come down back in the water. So, Nancy! Falcon fly up on the cornfield fence now. Nancy! Falcon start. Tankiat left struggling inside the water now. Nancy! So Falcon shout out, help, Nancy! Tankiat they drowned in. Nancy! Tankiat meet to the corner now and save himself. Nancy! Falcon shout out, belly done full now. Nancy! Nancy! He said there's a wet and a satisfied cock, a wet cat and a satisfied cock, a wet cat and 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 a Nancy! Nancy! And they might tell me a little bit about a Nancy story. A black man, you're not telling me wrong, me mouth. So me know him. So clearly they teach me for long. Nancy! Nancy! You know them people say really want to hear them. Nancy! Well, Buxton story now. Nancy! They had big argument now where the nicest set of people came from. Which village? Nancy! So they do Buxton. Nancy! They bring Paradise. Nancy! And they bring Hansgrove people now. Nancy! So they want to know where the nicest set of people come from, and they had this big beauty contest, you know. So they had 3 honorable judges. Nancy, we don't call them name because they're quick to sue in this country. Anything you say, sue. Nancy! Nancy! So the beauty contest going on now, and they bring up number 1 girl. Well, number 1 girl is Paradise Girl. Nancy! Number 1 girl time is Paradise Girl. Paradise Girl come on for the face up. Well, you know what happened there. Them say Paradise deeply donkey, but I know, so they say, Nancy! They bring on Hansgrove Girl now. Well, look how Hansgrove Girl gonna face the judges. And she's skin she real. Nancy! Well, by the time she do so, the judges say, okay, you can come down, Nancy! Well, we gone to the nice village now, Buxton. Buxton Girl time now. Nancy! 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 When Buxton Girl makes us stroll on the stage, man. Nancy! Big round of applause. Nancy! Nancy! Well, decision making now, judges say, okay, you can come down. Decision making. They decide, well, they're going to give Paradise Girl second. Nancy! Nancy! Buxton Girl going to get first. Nancy! But when they meet Hansgrove Girl now, and she come out the stage and she man, how you make no space? She said, you see the face and the waist, and act no space for the puppy and the ass and bust their rat, the face and the waist, like no space. And bust their rat, the face and the waist. In the face and the waist, I want to hear the chorus. I have no space, and the bobby and the ass, I bust their rat, in the face and the waist, I have no space, and the bobby and the ass. Face and the waist, I have no space, and the bobby and the ass. Face and the waist, I have no space. Face and the waist, I have no space. Face and the waist, I have no space. Nancy! Nancy! When we get the cousin now, a boxing man, bring over a young lady and tell the mother, well, you like this woman to be white. Nancy! The mother turn and I see, bye. You take woman, you can't go mind your own self. Oh, you don't mind say, Nancy! He said, well, mommy, me like this girl, me go left here with you and I go in the bush, walk clean money and come back. Nancy! Mother say, okay, you can go. Nancy! Girl left home with mommy now. Nancy! After the first week, the mother, everything was well. Second week, mother can't take it out that rock. And the mother gets very much suspicious. Nancy! So she writes a letter to her son. And she tell you, in the letter read. Say, walk money. Them say, man, I walk, you believe. Well, I know big people in the entire shape parable. You got to figure out your parable is what. Nancy! Now, time passed now, and nothing doing. The boy gets a second letter now. The second letter read, what man, what can bring money? Man, their house a drink honey. Nancy! Nancy! Well, by then you get to understand what she means. So the next flight, the boy decides out of the bush. Nancy! Nancy! So when the boy makes some touch on home now, the woman is just finished bathing. And the boy running with the passion. Remember now, his mother is getting all these things from So you run on with the passion. Nancy! Tackle your man right away. Nancy! The woman said, cry out. Oh, by yourself where you left from similar. Nobody not touch him. Are you drummer? You know this chorus. I never make me cuss on this mic. Are you singing this chorus? Oh, by yourself where me left from similar me gang. Nobody not touch him. He like a first class brisket. He was some man. Nobody not touch him. Nancy! So when the girl start crying to the vinyl, he decided to get a soft mind. Nancy! But in the eyes, I don't know. The mother there behind her, she showed Nancy! So the mother hold the road now and gone for her shot to move out the woman belonging. Nancy! Nancy! When the boy now crying up for the lady and says, well, watch your gun go become a message. You want to pack up everything and go on the road. By the time then, the mother coming with the ass cat. Nancy! But she forgets a certain thing under the bed. Nancy! Nancy! And she went back for it. Nancy! So by the time the woman bend down on the bed, so collect what she go for Nancy, by the behind Nancy! And the boy get fidgety, the boy run and all that. Nancy! He said, oh God, they're going to walk the life for you, Nancy! And the boy throw you up on the bed now. They are starting meeting. And the boy start to walk away. In the meantime, the mother come down with the ass and she run inside. She said, boy, where you there? No answer. Run upstairs, push the bedroom door. When she see the access, she run up to back, she said, turn back cat man, then dip on arm, then dip on arm, then dip on arm, turn back cat man, 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 then dip on arm, turn back cat man. Nancy! I got cousin say you want going to coach you up. Nancy, you answer my layers. Nancy. So, mother had little money and she go down to Buxton and she said, man, she gonna start you out with some layers. Some layers, laying board. Nancy! They say after 6 months, you're supposed to start getting production. Nancy. Nancy! 6 months means no production. Nancy! So they decide to call me now because I know me like agriculture science and things, you know. I look stupid, but maybe in school. No, thing, no. Nancy! So the first morning I went, going to the pen, start examining, catch foul, start feel, nothing happening. Nancy! Second morning, nothing. Nancy! I check with the feed, quality feed. I said something wrong here. Nancy! But then the third morning now. No, before the third morning, I listened some running through Facebook and thing, you know. And I see a very much important piece of something. So by the time then, when I reach to work, I examine what I now with this phone. I remember they said, protect yourself. Because AIDS go wrong everybody. Man and woman must protect themselves. Nancy! That particular morning is when I realized that the folk are protecting themselves. Nancy! Nancy! When I step in the pen the third morning, I must robbery, something. Nancy! Then I pick it up, so. And I start my observation and I start stretching. So I call out to my cousin. I said, cousin, come, Nancy! I find the remedy, Nancy! So he run and come with the ace now. And I show you, say, you full caca set with French letter, full caca set. Full caca set. Full caca set. Full caca Nancy! Nancy! I know some people might vex with me because this is about a particular body. Nancy! A young lady, Nancy! Mother saying that they're keeping shares, man. You know, old people think, always keep the last nice daughter for marrying some millionaire. Nancy! Nancy! But then, the girl now was of age, she never wait. So, one afternoon now, mommy sent her to buy bread. The shop, they hook the line, and mommy sent her there. So by time, every day she go, within half an hour, she must be back home. But that particular day, now half an hour pass and she didn't come home. So mommy gets worried and decide, well, I go in and see where this girl is. Nancy! I remember the shop, they up the line, so mommy end up this way. Nancy! When mommy head this way, no sighting of the girl. By the time mommy meet home back, girl, the home, so mommy said, girl, which angle you been? Where the shop been? She said, mommy, the shop man take her. But I been there, and the man said you wasn't there. Nancy! So now, they start investigate. Later down in the night now, the mother sleeping with one eye up. And the girl get up to go and urinate. But when she pull out the lady's push under and she sit over it, the mother jump up. She said, oh God, man, this is a foul play. Oh God, this is a foul play. And she call over her neighbor now, because she name just come. She can come and do nothing. Call over the neighbor now. And they decide they're going to examine this girl. Nancy! Nancy! So the neighbor now, I know the neighbor now bend all the time, but that particular night, she didn't know her status. She examined me. Nancy! Then the neighbor will tell the mother, girl, you don't know where it's sort for. This girl make you hand fall. You don't know where it's sort for. The mother neighbor hold it down. She run out the door. She said, Lord, oh God, the girl take man. Oh Lord, oh God. 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 Oh Lord. El pumpkin alright, now scratchy button. Yes, Father, that is true. When pumpkin alright, now scratchy button. Reading from the book of Emancipation, chapter 13, according to me, them say, live you may and die you must. But then get some people, they think they not go there that time. When we look at the situation, them say, they want to depopulate the earth, but we want them to know. All the same place, the same 4x8 square, and just that everybody are going. Them get little teeth, then get big teeth, then get white color teeth, but when you put it together, all of them is teeth. You push me out of power. You tell yourself, you got the greatest power. This time, you are the biggest thing. Then you announce that you want to thief the country, and you are the one who want to thief all away. Who vex, me can only talk because me doing it, me feel it, so me got to talk. Them say, there's a pastor at that particular church, say he praying for people. He say he praying for people. And he tell the sister, you have a demon. And to be saved, she got to stay back after church. When the sister stay back after church, he tell the sister, says, sister, I'm gonna place the people under your leg. And then you're gonna spread your legs. And I'm going to put that peg in there. When the pastor start to feel nice, he says, sister, you are saved. You may go. You are saved. You may go. You are saved. Nancy! Well, you know, long time, the relationship between races was so nice that everybody used to come over, go over. You know, nobody did nothing. But I got certain man from the village, you know. He don't like air when them tasses don't beat him. Don't know. Seven calling Nancy! So he just makes it duty now. And when he go across to them areas, he alone with it out like 52 curry. Man, he just carried cruel. Nancy! So the people have said for you now. They take a masala brick and they put it middle of a plate. And they cover it with the masala brick with some rice. And they put croton oil. And they put it down and thing there. Nancy! This is a true story. Nancy! And they feed you by Nancy. They say, wow, as he going down to the bottom, he jam the brick. And his stomach torn. Nancy! The boy left for the garden. And he sit down, his stomach full. Nancy! When he meet up on the veranda now, he start, New York! Mother asked him, why you going on? You then going and crying out to New York. What going on? When the mother go outside and see what going on, and she pick you up so. He said, Mama, me can't go nowhere, but me go shit. Yeah, she said, shit there. Me go shit. Me go shit. Me go shit there. Me go shit there. Me go shit. Me go. Nancy! Well, in the olden days, there are a lot of old people, big people there, who call them old people, because they still used to go in the background, farming their produce and then bring it home. Nancy! So as a little boy, you know, watch I in the background to cut the grass. Nancy! They're already coming out now with a big bag of coconut one shade. Nancy! The other big man, they from the background, I'm calling people someone speak now. So the lady walk up to the man and say, please help me take down this bag now. My FC take down the bag. Just as the man FC take down the bag, the man walk away. She said, help me lift it up, and the man suck it and he walk away. She said, you stupid big man. He turned around, he said, me stupid. Race it close, he said, watch where you laugh. Say, rat. Watch where you laugh. Watch where Mr. Rat. Watch where you laugh. 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 Well, I'm going to close your last with some folk songs. A couple of folk songs. Here on the bass, here on the bass, here on the bass, here
and the best, here and the best. Here and the best. I want to hear this chorus from so and from so. Because everybody know this time here. A black people time. And you know all them truly say. Here and the best, here and the best. 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 Awashala, washala. Awashala, washala, washala. Before the morning cockacrow. I should go to my go. Before the morning cockacrow. I should go to my go. I feel. 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 Oh, Merda, sweet Merda. Oh, Merda, sweet Merda. Mining on the chicken down in the bottom of. Mining on the chicken down in the bottom of. Oh, Merda, Merda. Oh, Merda, sweet Merda. Tell me where you get from. From brother, from. Them little girl. Some better than some. Them little girl. Them girl. Them girl. Them girl. Some better than some. Them girl. Some better than some. Bato. Now touch your thing. You never know. Touch your thing. You never know. Touch your thing. You never know. Oh, you know. Touch your thing, you mama go know. Touch your thing, touch your thing, you mama go know. Oh, she go know. Touch your thing. Oh, girl, I want that. Oh, girl, I want that. Oh, girl, you must keep on good. Are you living? Oh, girl, you must come here. Are you living? Oh, girl, look how it's black and shine. Are you living? Oh, girl, you must brush it in. Are you living? Oh, girl, I want that. Are you living? Girl, I want that. Them say you must could be here. Them say you must wash your face. Them say you must brush your teeth. Them say you must powder it. Them say you must keep it clean. Plus you must carry it. But girl, I want that. Girl, I want that. Girl, I want that. Girl, I want that. Look for your TV. This is your PCR. Plus your CBR. Look for your out and fan. Plus your meat. But girl, I want that. Girl, I want that. Girl, I want that. Say you must go down here. Say you must wash your face. Say you must comb your hair. Plus you must keep it clean. But girl, I want that. Girl, I want that. Say you out and land. Plus your caravan and your minivan. Woman, heavy load. Yeah, woman, heavy load. Oh, when the money there. Oh, how they love you so. Oh, how you could stand up so. Oh, how you could grind so. Wine so. Oh, when the money go. Oh, why you nigga man. Oh, you want to stick up. call me lover boy. You are my sugar daddy. You are my stick up Billy. You will make me study. But when the money done, oh when the money done, but when the money done, oh when you are 6 o'clock, oh you are not at all, oh you would never ready. When me and this time, hey when I have it done, hey when I have it done, hey when I have it done. Samuel, oh, Samuel, 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 oh, Samuel, 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 Mashima, Samuel, Samuel, Samuel from the front, Samuel from the back, Samuel up top, Samuel from the back, Samuel, oh, Samuel, 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 go fishing, Samuel, Samuel, and he put on his topless, and he put on his kazak, Samuel. It was Holy Communion. Samuel is a bitch. Samuel, Samuel, from the right side. Samuel from the left side. Samuel from the back. Samuel from the front. Samuel is the lover. Samuel is the giver. Samuel is the father. Samuel is the daughter. Samuel, 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 Samuel is a bitch. Yeah, Samuel. Don't you wrong, oh. Don't you wrong, don't you wrong. Remember me, she's a big woman. Don't you wrong, don't you wrong, don't you wrong. Don't you wrong, don't you wrong, don't you wrong. When I take her to church, don't you wrong, as a reverend father, don't you wrong, and I put it on the pew, don't you wrong, and I open the cool, don't you wrong, and I take up the bag, don't you wrong, and I tell it in bag, don't you wrong, and say, Allah, don't you wrong, and I send it further, don't you wrong, don't you wrong, don't you wrong, don't you wrong, don't you wrong. Hotel money gone since the pandemic. So you have to do a story anyway. Because he wants to anyway. And if I don't stop selling, anyway. And if I'm dirty, anyway. If I push on, anyway. But the kitchen thing, anyway. But the bathroom floor, anyway. It is still important for you all to buy your lovers things. Buy me lover one shot, me go wash up. Buy me lover one shot. Buy me lover one shot. Buy me lover one shot. Don't give mama say no. Don't give mama say no. Don't give mama say no. Me go wash up. Buy me lover one. Buy me lover one pan. Buy me lover one pan. Buy me lover one pan. Long mama one pan. Donkey mama say no. Donkey mama say no. Donkey mama say no. We go wash up. Love one dress. Why me love one dress? 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 Donkey soup in a there. Donkey soup in a there. Donkey soup in a there. Why me love one dress? Donkey mama say no. Donkey mama say no. Donkey mama say no. Why me love one? Why me love one? Early one morning, and I go down. See one lily body, take one lily touchy. Tell them back up the body. Hey, come on, listen what the body say. Come on, listen what the body say. This money board I say. This money board I say. This money board is say. This money board is say. Holy mama, name trouble. Been a cook for the damn. Fuck up, please, till the charade. Sponsor people down. Pick up, please, till the charade. I put you from the cabin. Then I take for the woman. And I took for me, charade. Charade, I took my and I took it. Yeah, come on, money board I say. This money board I say. We're coming close to that time because you know the COVID thing. They go up to 9 o'clock, but we went over the 9 o'clock thing. So we got for we are in our right. Yeah, we got for close down the thing. Chinese man something, Buckman something, the Indian something, the white man something, but the black man something. Black man something, black man something, black man something. Black man something, black man something, black man something. Chinese lily solid. Chinese Foragi Atoma black man surface, black man surface. It was me so, me there, me arm broke, and me foot broke. Don't be still and stand up. Me arm broke, me foot broke, me don't be still and stand up. Me arm broke, me foot broke, me waggy still and stand up. Me arm broke, me foot broke, me waggy still and stand up. Me arm broke, me foot waggy still and stand up. I say, just a start to be, just a start to be, just a start to be. Put on my soul, 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 put on my we gotta bring up the power before we go.
Can't fall in that.
Oh, let the power give us justice, peace and love for I give us justice, peace and love. Oh, give us justice, peace and love. Give us justice, peace and love. Oh, let the power. Let the power. That's how you sing. Let the power from Zion fall on us. Let the power fall on us. Oh, give us justice, peace and love. Give us justice, peace and love. Oh, give us justice, peace and love. Give us justice, peace and love. Oh, let the power fall on us. Let the power let the power fall on us. Let the power fall on us. Let the power. Yes, let everybody partake. Let everybody partake now.
Bring back a Maccabee version.
But long to the black man, you bring back in his force. That will take the white man, the black man get up, stand up, and the black God the glory. The black man get up, stand up, and good. And the black God the glory. Bring back Maccabee version. Back to the black man, bring back in his force. Yeah, take the white man, the black man get up, stand up. And big black God, the black man get up, stand up on his foot. And big black God, the glory. Maccabee version. Bring back in the version. Take the white man, the black man.
Are you know this? If you follow the Buxton people, you get fever. If you follow the Buxton people, you get fever. If you follow the Buxton people, you get fever. And the fever will never recover. When you follow the Manchester, you get. If you follow the heavy lighter, you get fever. When you follow the Manchester, fever. And the fever will never recover. And the fever will never recover. And the fever. All the nation. All the nation. Where are you there? Where are you there? Where are you there? Nation, where you
There is $7.3 billion that will be paid out to farmers. How much is coming to Buxton? $7.3 billion will be paid out to farmers as flood relief and so on. How much is coming to Buxton? Ensure you get the old. That's all I'm saying. Ensure you get the old. And let me invite you to Buxton. Tune in from Monday to Friday on Camps TV Facebook Live. That's where we discuss a lot of issues that are pertinent to the people. Facebook Live, Mondays to Friday, Camps TV, that is KKMS. You can also find us on YouTube, Camps TV. And you will find Monday to Friday from 6:30 to 9 in the morning, Buxton in the morning time. At 6:30 in the evening on Tuesdays, you find Politics 101 with Dr. Dave Rhines. And then again on Thursday, programming to educate you and to keep you alert. I want to say on behalf of the 1st of August movement, Two Country Multipurpose Club, and the Society for African Guyanese Empowerment. Thank you all for coming out. I want to say those who have contributed financially and otherwise to the success of this program, thank you. I want to remind our students that an essay competition was announced tonight. Let's look for the details. Parents tuning into Camps TV are certainly going to get the details there. Was it okay? What did I miss? Did I miss anything? No. I can't miss anything. Oh, by the way, who's playing music? Did I ask someone to do that?
Check your phone. Check your phone.
I play music myself, you know. Sorry about that. I play music on it. Remember tomorrow the feast is, right? Yes, tomorrow the village feast is in the marketplace. And 6 o'clock, is it 6 or 7 o'clock? The church service.
7:30.
Oh. Oh, okay, yes. So I'm saying to you that the village feast is tomorrow in the marketplace. So come on down and let's do what we do normally. Okay? We feast.